And all right, we are live. Have fun, everybody.
Okay, well, welcome everybody to Just Chilling episode number 4. This is fantastic that we're able to get together virtually like this for our 4th episode. And Ming, I know you're in the background here. We are Just Chilling has covered all the bases with Shared Universe, I think. So we've taped in our Red Bank store. We were in Eatontown. We were in Asbury Park for our last one, and then now we are virtual. So we've covered all the Shared Universe bases here. So I'm not sure how many podcasts are always about counting and continuing the trend. So we've covered all the bases, Ming. So if you come up with any other bright ideas, just let us know and we'll join in. But today I'm really excited about our fourth episode here. First of all, Caitlin, let me say hello to you. Caitlin, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Great. Are you faring well these last 3 weeks?
I'm trying to stay busy. Yeah.
I think so. I've seen your social media posts, and you've been taking walks with your with Bentley and enjoying as much as you can. Yeah.
Trying to get outside as much as possible.
That's right. That's right. And today also is our first guest here, and Sasha Buerano is here, and we welcome you to the broadcast, Sasha. So welcome.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, this is the first 3 episodes, Sasha, have been with team members of ChillRx. So you're our first
guest.
Yes,
first
I'm so
guest.
honored.
Yeah,
I'm so honored.
Right. So
cool.
We try to keep some, because I'm an old fan of Saturday Night Live, and they always keep count of all these things. So, being the first guest, and then, as you progress through the ranks here, Sasha, maybe you'll have like a special jacket, a Just Chilling jacket that we can give you like they do
Yes.
on Saturday Night Live. But
I love it. Give me all the merch. I'm a big fan of merch.
All the merchandise. As we haven't put Just Chilling on merchandise yet, but that's something I can do with some extra time.
There you go.
Have.
That's your next thing.
Yeah. So what? So I'll start off. I've been, the last 3 weeks that I've been busy doing all different things with, getting the store ready for our eventual start back up. We've got several things that we're working on to make sure that we're ready to bring some new technology to our audience in Red Bank. So you'll see that on the social media over the next couple weeks, and it'll be exciting to see. And so Sasha, what have you been doing to keep yourself active and busy over the last 3 weeks of quarantine here?
Oh my gosh. Well, I think in general, I have a team that I'm lucky and fortunate enough to be able to work remotely, in the insurance space. So it's taken up a lot of my time just doing that and trying to figure out like how do we migrate to go remote. And it's been keeping me busy for the most part. But aside from that, trying to business as usual and still continuing to have face-to-face appointments with people, Zoom calls and whatnot. It's been a pretty packed schedule otherwise. I haven't really had as much time. I haven't watched this Tiger King that everyone's talking about. But it's been pretty busy.
Yeah, no, I think that's we've as a team. I know, Caitlin, we got together last week as a team. Well, we got together right before it was kind of an unceremonious 1-year anniversary party, because then the next day we closed. But I'm actually thinking about writing a book, how to start up a business, grow a business, shut it down, and then restart a business. So the next chapter is still yet to be written. But
right.
I have a great team, and Caitlin is a big part of it, and I'm keeping in touch with all of them and making sure that we're ready to go once we get the okay from the state. So Caitlin, anything that you want to share with us that you've been doing for the last 3 weeks?
Well, I did watch Tiger King.
Oh, you
Okay,
did?
see, don't tell me what happens, please. I still need to watch it.
Definitely a must see. You have to watch it.
I know.
I
hear
did. I
all
will
things.
say that I watched that too. But my
Oh.
my wife, and I think you've all met Dorothy. She only gave it like 5 or 10 minutes. She didn't particularly
She didn't like it.
Yeah, she didn't like it. So we switched over to Ozark, which we're on Ozark right now.
Oh, I
So,
hear that's
Oh,
that's
our
really
next-
good.
Our next
yeah,
show.
that's
So,
your next. Yeah, I would recommend. The Ozark it's an interesting show. I won't tell you anything about it because it's just you'll never, like, you turn it on and you have absolutely no idea what's going to happen next. It's one of these
Really?
shows that are just,
So
I
it's
don't know,
like a
the guy
cliffhanger.
Justin Bateman, who I think he wrote it and directed it. I don't know where the hell his brain is. He just it comes up. It's like, how on earth can that like materialize out of this situation? So it's an exciting first couple episodes so far. So we're trying to keep ourselves entertained here in the evenings and everything. But
Nice.
Sasha, with your business, so you're just kind of business as usual with things. So is your business primarily a consumer insurance, or is there a commercial aspect to it also?
We have commercial clientele for sure. I mean, people know Allstate Insurance as your car and home insurance, which that is the bread and butter of our business. But we do have commercial clients as well. We can do like life insurance, stuff like that too. So I'm in a space. My office is in brick, so I do have like a brick and mortar store, like storefront in a plaza. So we do have a good number of like walking traffic, especially since we have a community that's what what they want. They want the in-person. So it's been a bit of a transition to let people know. So we had a mass like calling out of, hey, everyone, like we're still here, we're still operating even though our doors are closed. You can reach us on all these platforms, and luckily 99% of things can be done virtually, which is nice. Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, that's. I think that's important. I just had a fleeting idea here, Sasha. That
I love those. Okay.
Is that with people, and your description of your of the plaza is that maybe if you put faces on the windows of your team members and the phone numbers, it's like, call us here.
Oh, I like it.
I was just
so
because
funny.
I'm sitting here looking at the screen and I see the 3 faces and I'm like, wow, maybe that would, if somebody does, although I don't know how many people are actually walking around right now, but
exactly.
But that's,
I do have one team member. She goes in like part-time twice a week, but she's the only one in the office. So there's a few agencies that are doing that. And she's like, the plaza's dead. Like, I feel so bad. So I don't know that exactly what you said. I don't know that a lot of people are walking around, but that is certainly an idea. Like, I think if anything, it'd be a little cute and amusing, but
yeah. No, I think that's the case too. I mean, I haven't been out of my house too much. We kind of keep things to a minimum, like the government is asking and stuff.
Yeah.
But, it doesn't seem like many people, unless they're in the food service or in the health industry, that what they're doing to try to maintain things. But there is a lot less people out, and that's what I see, right? Is
yeah, there's not a lot of people around here. It's like walking your dog, going for walks, but that's it.
I mean, that's how it should be, honestly, right? The hope is to hopefully we get it over with sooner than later, but we'll take all the precautions. So I'm fine with it. It's kind of, I don't know, for the people that I'm finding are from the shore, at least, like where I am, I'm at the shore. And so it's kind of like having a forced local summer. So it's still like, no one's kind of wanting to come out too much still, which is kind of nice it's like, oh, it's kind of nice to have Asbury Park a little bit not so busy, but it is unfortunate for the businesses. So, doing as much as you can to support local business and doing stuff like this is really awesome, to stay connected, because I think that's important.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's we as a business. I think you went to one of the calls, Sasha. The Red Bank Business Alliance is getting together on it's basically a weekly or bi-weekly basis, talking about various topics about the town and the different events that we've had. I mean, basically every event in the next two to 3 months have all been postponed.
Right.
And, and then we're trying to, figure out things that we can do, just in town now. And then there's a program, it's called, and I may have mentioned, you may have been on the call, Sasha, when you saw this, is the Keep the Lights On initiative. Yeah.
Very cool. I like that.
Yeah, and that's really grown. And I think the website for that is going to be opening up
great.
this week, I think. And the infrastructure behind it is very professional, and we're going to push it around to a lot of different media sources and such, and try to be a kind of a clearinghouse for all the different businesses and their stories and such. So Ming, if you're listening, you should try to jump on that and see if you can provide some podcasting assistance for that team. I'll connect you up with that group.
That's a cool initiative.
Yeah, and I think it's it's kind of a galvanizing thing, and I think that it'll bring traffic to the websites and to the towns and such, and just raise the awareness. And there's a couple of people on the team that have some contacts with different bigger companies in the area. So maybe they'll be able to just kind of slip into their marketing budgets and push things out. So that might be, some things for that. But we'll see how that materializes.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of good, there's a lot of great, I think, content that people are putting out there. It's amazing how I feel like we're all kind of separated. We're all in our own little pods in isolation. Yet, who was I just talking to? And I think it was the CDC that's coming out with like a thing that says hashtag like alone together, and we're very much like connecting in another way and trying as much as possible to help each other out to, like you say, like keep the lights on. And the amount of content that's being pushed out there, the amount of, groups, free webinars, things like that. I think it's really amazing. So thank you for inviting me to that. I think that's really, really cool. And I'm interested to see how that all pans out. Even having the little, light up box to put in the window, I think is a sign of, just standing together, banding together. I think that's really cool in the community.
Yeah, and I think it's important that because we would meet regularly, and now it's just kind of good to continue the conversation, because it's on 3 weeks now, and from the likes of it, it could go a couple, several more weeks. So
sure.
Maintaining the relationships and contacts and such, that's I think it's important. But now, have there been any clients that you've called that have, want to, like, I've had a few chill clients call wanting to come in, and unfortunately we, as we're closed, and I can't really, look, I'm an hour away, so it's kind of like I can't come down there and such like that. And we've had a few clients with our one-on-one appointments that we definitely, that was kind of the biggest reason to stop things, because we do, as you know, we do quite a bit of one-on-one appointments with the sculpting and the skin toning.
Right.
So wanted to, so I had to cancel several of those, and we got to figure out how to get things back. But but have you had any clients call at all, or no?
To call, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's definitely, I think it'll come in waves, as things unfold with everything going on. We had a lot of calls initially because I had sent out like mass email, like, utilizing that to, and maximizing that as much as possible. Like, hey, we're not going to be in the office. If you need us, call us here, send us a text here, however you need us there. But it comes in waves. And then you have things like where people are, just trying to put out helpful content to people. Like, you're not driving a lot, or, maybe you should consider, getting user-based insurance that we have, driving for as, paying for as much as you drive type of thing. And that's really big, because if you're not driving anywhere at all, like, you're not gonna be paying a lot. So that's, that's like a cool option. So as we promote that more, I think we'll hopefully get more, calls and inquiries about that. So But I think right now everyone's just trying to figure it out, just like you guys, just trying to figure out like what are options out there for us. There's a lot of unknowns, and I think shedding as much light as we possibly can and do as much handholding as we can is definitely appreciated to our clients. So is that something that I assume that's something you've done as well, like sent out a mass emails maybe to your clients and let them know,
Yeah, we have the emails that we've been sending out on a fairly regular basis on various topics and such, and we're still getting a pretty good open rate of things, so people are still engaged and such. And then, like I said, we're going to have the new product coming out, so that should get a little bit of excitement and people hopefully pre-ordering things and packages and such like that, so that so that when we get back up and running, they can just jump right into it. So but what you mentioned with the insurance, that usage pricing, that's a huge change for your, like, how do you track the mileage on the cars? And such?
Good question. So it's for Allstate, it's called MileWise. So they send you a device that you plug in. It's specific to the car, that kind of car you have, and you plug it into the steering wheel. So they just mail it to you. And, all you really need is an email address and an online account, and it tracks your mileage. So you get, obviously in the state of New Jersey, you need basic insurance, liability insurance to cover your car. Everyone has to have it, right? If you have plates in your car. And then, so you have like a daily rate for that, just insurance. And then you have per mile rate. And, for every mile you drive, you're charged X amount of cents. And so you basically are in control of how much you pay for your insurance. It is fairly new. I think a lot of people undercut how much they actually drive. But right now, especially since we don't know how much we're driving, but we really can't go anywhere and we all have curfews, we know we're not really driving a lot. So it's a really great option for people to be able to save and, and not sacrifice like their coverage for that either, because there's not a lot of companies that offer it. So it's pretty great to have that option. So I'm trying to like educate people on that option.
Yeah, that's huge. Yeah. Caitlin, have you ever heard of that before, Caitlin?
I've never heard that. No.
Yeah, it's called user-based insurance. So it's it's pretty. I mean, we have the technology. It's cool that they've applied it, and like I said, it's fairly new. So pushing out the word for that is really cool as a savings option for people.
Right. That's cool though that they can track it and everything.
Yeah, and if you're not going anywhere, or if you have multiple cars and like only one or two people are using it, a car, and you have 5 cars, like you're paying for just basic, coverage, and it's a lot more affordable. So it's like it's a regular insurance policy. It's just set up a little bit differently. So. Yeah.
Well, that's interesting too, is that let's say if you go on vacation for a week, or if you're commuting into the city and you're only driving like my wife just drives a mile to the train station. So it's, it's
good for commuters.
Yeah. Cause then they don't have to pay the large rate for things like that. It's interesting, but that overall, that usage pricing is a huge change, not only for insurance, but it could be for many, many different industries.
Yeah.
One of them being that always comes to my mind is cable. I mean, right now they would have a huge increase in usage.
Yeah, seriously, right? Everyone home.
It would be, but I've always said, like, well, I go away on vacation for a week. Why do I have to continue to pay the regular rates because the TV shut off for a full week? Yeah, and so and they've resisted the usage and fees. Because people have asked for that. That's why a lot of people are cutting the cord and such like that, to be able to, just pay per, like, oh, I'll pay $40 to watch the Super Bowl. Well, that's the only thing that I watch, or I'll just pay this to watch the Giants or things like that. And that kind of thing. But
I feel like it took a little bit for the insurance industry to kind of catch up with the rest of the world. It's like, how do you do this? But I'm glad it's an option now, because I think people are more open to it, considering everything going on. So
I would think that that's going to be, as as the market develops with that and people start to get aware of it, I'm sure you'll have a few early adopters with it, but it's gonna grow big to the point where, automobiles will have this insurance tracking in their car.
Yeah.
And, you just sign up and then that VIN number goes to the insurance policy and they know where it is and what happened,
Right.
how fast you were going when you got into this, that, or the other
Yeah.
thing. And because with the company that I'm with, they had some sort of a tracking thing that I could, get a reduction in my fee or something like that, but
yeah, they have it like on an app.
Commercials.
Yeah, they give like a ton of commercials about it.
Labor, and she's like, "Don't speed."
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
that's right. Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, it's the technology out there is pretty crazy. I know some people are a bit hesitant to embrace it, like, oh, I don't want you tracking my every moment, but
yeah, which I can definitely understand that.
Yeah.
But that's the direction that things are going in.
Right.
Is a cashless society, so you're going to know everything with credit cards and cell phone payments and such, and then also all your movement with as far as Easy Pass and things like that. With the car, they
already know where we are. So
exactly. Yeah, and
exactly like Easy Pass. They know at every moment that you're passing through, or like all the cameras on the traffic lights. It's but it's comforting to know that there are things that are adapting to technology to help everyone out. And there's some cool things there too. Like if you sign up for some of these programs, you could get like literally free, like you could just accumulate, like we have a point system for some of these. We have another program called DriveWise where it does exactly what you said. It like kind of tracks like how fast if you drive fast or if you're hard braking. It doesn't work against you. So if you speed or if you're not like a good driver, you just don't get any extra cash back. But if you are, you can get cash back, or you can transfer them into points to shop on like our online store and like buy things like a Michael Kors bag or something like random like that. Like, so it's interesting what the insurance company has done. A lot of people don't really want to think about it or really care, but there's actually a lot of savings out there and a lot of options for people if you really give it a shot. So it's interesting, at least to me. I'm a little bit of an insurance nerd, so.
Now, Caitlin, what does your generation think about? And I think you're definitely a different generation than me. So I'll say that. I don't want to speak for Sasha, but what do you think about that kind of tracking and such? Is that?
I don't know. I mean, I haven't really heard many people talk about it, but I think it's a cool thing. Like personally, I think it would be like, you're doing something, they're tracking it, but you get the rewards for it. I don't know. And
that's what I think. I think the benefit is it's a consumption economy in a way too. Is I just want to pay for what I use, rather than paying for something. So this is a step in that direction. I only want to pay for the car when I use the car, which is kind of the idea of a like those Zip cars and the
exactly
the Ubers and such. As that market continues to evolve, where people could theoretically not own cars, but I think that's still a long way off in the United States because people have the freedom of always want to have the freedom of being able to get in their car and go wherever they want to go, whenever they want to go. So, but I think that's that's just the step towards that in the marketplace.
Totally. So how are you guys? Like, I guess you were talking about how you're always meeting with your team. Obviously, Caitlin's like here. How are you prepping, or what are some things that you're doing to stay positive, and what are some things that you're kind of developing for when you do reopen your doors? Any can you give us any like sneak peeks?
Well, what we're gonna do when that happens, we have we're actually going to be installed next week. We're calling it a Chill Slim Pod.
Oh, cool!
And it's a chamber that you can climb into and lay down, and it folds back over your body. And I've just been reading up all the technology on it. The temperatures can go from 100 degrees all the way up to like 180 degrees.
Wow.
And it's infrared heat, so it's even hotter than our infrared sauna. They don't recommend first-time clients to go up to 180. I could imagine that being quite a bit of heat at one time in an enclosed chamber like that. And so the infrared heat, it heats you from the inside, so you'll be sweating, but it's not like a sauna in a gym, but it's an infrared, so it heats you from the inside, and you sweat. And the idea is that it sweats and burns fat. And then there's also within the same chamber, there's infrared light to be able for skin toning, and there's a slight vibration in it too to help with the lymphatic drainage. So you're supposed to drink a ton of water before, a ton of water afterwards, and we're going to position it as a way to lose your quarantine pounds. So.
Oh, thank God! Sign me up. I will be the first one. Is there like the early bird special?
I might. That's we have a small marketing department, so we take we take every idea we can. So
and
early
you know that
bird
I'm a huge advocate of Chillerx. I think you guys.
That's right.
Yeah. I was such a, I guess if you want me to, do you want me to give my little background on
sure,
why?
Yeah. That's everybody has to have tried cryotherapy as a guest too. So you qualified when you you qualified as a guest.
No, I remember when you I first met you, I was like, I'm never going inside a box. I hate being cold, and I don't like being confined to small spaces. And I'm like, I'm never going to do it. And then, it's like, oh, you should try it. It's really, really great. I'm like, all right, fine. And I just started working out at Orange Theory, and it literally took me 2 weeks to recover. And this is just a sign of getting old, maybe, or just getting old in general. It took me a week and a half, 2 weeks to recover. And I remember someone telling me at your store, this is really great for recovery. You should give it a shot. I'm like, all right, fine. Tried it. Thank God you can play music inside there, because all I do is dance, in 3 minutes. And 2 days later, I was back at Orange Theory. It was amazing, and I became a believer after that. And I truly never thought in a million years that I would do it. And I remember I just was there all the time, every day. And I don't know, it just was part of my regimen, going after, working out, and first thing in the morning. That's what I love. So, and then and then you guys did the sauna. So I would do the fire and ice combo, which is really, really cool. So I don't know, it worked wonders for me. So I always tell people, I have your tank. And I think the other day when I was going to physical therapy, this girl was like, oh, I think I want to try cryotherapy. And I turned to her and I was like, go to this place. She goes, oh, you work there? I'm like, no, I just used to go there all the time. And she's like, that's exactly where I was thinking of going. So you guys have a nice market. This was in Colts Neck too,
nice,
where I was going. So that it was really cool. So I love it. It's a lot of people are asking about it, and a lot of people know that I've done it, and so I'm excited to, any new thing you do, I'm like, oh, what is this going on? I want to try it out.
So that's the latest that we're going to have once like I said, it's going to get installed next week. And then hopefully we get to go ahead to open up soon after that. And or however long, but the music in the Arctic is pretty famous, I would say.
Yes.
Right,
yeah,
Caitlin?
that's really underestimated.
Yeah, I think when we put that up, we were like, whoa, we listened to a song, but people love their music.
Oh no, I will not go in there without the music. You gotta play the music.
Yeah, and we as a team, we're trying to remember everybody's song, because we're like DJs, right, Caitlin?
Yeah.
There's people listen to the same song every single time.
Yeah,
exactly. I'm probably one of those people.
Born to Die by Bruce Springsteen's a big one, because 3 minutes, it has a really cool ending, so when it's about to end.
That's true too. Yeah, there's different lengths of songs.
That's right. You the worst thing is if it ends too soon, and then you're like, I'm still chilling.
Wait a minute. Can you
just replay it or start a new one? do you have like in your like CRM, like could you put like a space, like notes, like what someone's song is?
Yeah, we've been doing.
Yeah.
Caitlin, we do that. Caitlin, right?
Yeah, we have like the setting they do, and then the song they listen to. If they listen to a certain song, or like the genre that they like. Some people are like, just put on whatever you feel like.
Yeah,
you kind of have to guess and hope that they like it.
I love it.
Yeah, that depends upon who was in before, because sometimes I'll just play the song from the person before.
Yeah.
And you never know what you get. It's just you're a DJ. It's like you don't want somebody to come out and say, "Well, I really don't like that song." So you try to, will they like that or not? And you're kind of thinking, but
yeah, it's always a success when you hear them singing to it in there, and you're like, "All right, cool, good song."
Now the dancing too, Caitlin, right? There's a lot of dancing that goes on yeah. Now you're not alone, Sasha, in your dancing.
Oh yeah, I love the dance. I usually ask like whoever's there, just like, hey, dance with me. It just keeps you distracted and just fun. And what was big for me is the fact that you have a window, because I think it's a little daunting. And I have no experience with any other chill places, so I don't know if that's normal to have like a window or whatnot, but that's big. I remember my brother-in-law went to go try it, and he doesn't like enclosed spaces, so you're able to put the window down a little bit. And so like I think that's really cool that it's pretty flexible and adjustable to your needs. So
yeah, they definitely they try to, we designed it so that everybody can enjoy the treatment. So if you're and even inside it's 3 minutes, you have a countdown, and there's white light inside to be able to keep you, so you really don't feel enclosed in any way. I'm like that too. I have a little bit of claustrophobia, but I don't feel that in there at all. And the dancing is one way to kind of get out of it. We've had several dancers in our chill box, and Sasha, I'll include you in that. Caitlin, I think you've done some dancing in there too. But I was in there a couple weeks ago, and we had a group of athletes come in.
Oh, wow.
And one gentleman was, this was one of the biggest human beings I've seen. He was huge. And he comes in, and I gave him the tour, and he goes, "Oh, that's fine." And he opens up the door, and he's like, that space isn't that big in there. I was like, well, that's because you are the biggest person I've ever seen go in there. And then he goes in, and he starts dancing too.
Oh my God.
And there's this huge football player with muscles on top of muscles dancing.
That's so
and
funny.
I turned to because all his friends were in there too, and I said, this has never tipped over before, but this could tip over. I forgot what music he was playing, but it was whatever it was. But the machine was rocking back and forth, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this thing can go over. Because I think he was heavier than the whole machine. He was one big human being, and I'm glad I don't play football anymore, because I'm sure he's a terror on the football field. So, but that was a lot of fun. So there's a lot of dancers that go on in the dance. We should try to maybe we should categorize these things while we're on break, Caitlin, and figure out all the different. It all would make good social media as we kind of continue on down the road. But
you see groups of people who go to chill. Yeah,
different groups of people. That could be well, good. Well, you've you've done all the different levels of cryotherapy. What's your favorite level, Sasha, that you have?
I don't think I ever made it to like the highest level in cryo. I forgot what it's called. It's like the one that fluctuates. It goes colder and then not as cold. It's like the
Cryo Pro, the lowest one, or
maybe I don't know I forgot what it's called, but it actually adjusts. It can go lower and then go down. I've tried it before, but I usually go intermediate now.
Gotcha.
when I'm in the chamber, but
it is actually it should be based upon the effects of your skin temperature. So we'll probably be doing that as we move forward. But you want to pick a temperature that gives the desired results based upon your body type and body size and such. So for me personally, I always do the Cryo Pro just because I've been doing it for a long time. So that's just my perspective. Caitlin, what setting do you use?
I do Pro.
Do Pro.
Usually. unless it's a really cold day. If everyone that day was saying how cold it was, I'd do intermediate.
That's true. Yeah, there is some variability in the it's not a variability in the temperature, but it's a variability in how it feels, I think, because of the density and the pressure
Right.
of the cold air is thicker or something. So someone let's see. So there's some live comments here. Oh wow. I didn't even know this here. Oh, here I see scientific claims on the website, but I don't see any links to human studies. So if there's somebody on our website, if you go on to our there's a section for the studies there, Matt, and I think you'll be able to see that. I'll send something to you at the end of the call if there's anything with regards to that as far as papers. But we have a whole ton of academic papers that talk about the benefits of cryotherapy. So you should be able to see it. And if not, I think towards the end of different pages, there's also links to different academic papers also. So. Okay, thanks for. I didn't see that over there. The live.
Yeah,
comment,
I know.
but,
this is a cool new.
Yeah, this is a new new functionality
so
here.
We're all learning together. This is pretty cool, though.
Now, the last thing I was going to talk about is kind of the way forward out of this COVID virus. I think that I haven't seen any updates today, but I think testing is the biggest thing. And I heard that there's Abbott Labs is going to do some high-speed testing out in Long Island where they can actually do samples in 5 minutes, which is a huge change.
Yeah, they're like mass producing those, I think, devices.
Yeah, exactly.
I saw that on TechCrunch, I think. Yeah, that is pretty cool to be able to have that, because I think, it's scary to see like the numbers increase, but we're going to, more people are getting tested, and as they come out, even with that, we're just going to see that that spike.
Yeah, exactly. And there's several that like there's some interesting data that's posted. Obviously, the numbers that you talked about is increasing, but then there's also a lot of people that get tested that are negative, which I think is pretty interesting, because the state is only going to test people that have the symptoms.
Right.
At least now, for the first, up until this time being, it's only people with symptoms. That I was guessing about half the people were experiencing symptoms and then tested negatives, which I think is pretty interesting. And that's part of the fear and such that goes on, is that with this, not to belittle what's going on with the actual thing, but I think that's a big part. So improved time of testing is going to be huge. So currently it's like 3 or 4 days. Like I've had friends on my street that have had it wait 3 or 4 days. So the 3 or 4 days to get results. So moving it to 5 minutes is going to be huge, I think. So and then the second part of testing is where they actually do antibody testing. Have either of you heard about that?
Yes. I actually just learned about that today from a friend of mine, and apparently you can get like tested like after the fact if you think that you might have had it or something, right? Just to see if it'll.
Yeah, that's the kind of the next step in it, where and it's a different test because it's actually a blood test, not a swab test. Okay, so the tests that are currently going on, like at PNC Bank Arts Center, is a swab test where it's in your nose or in your mouth, and then it's put in a container and done immediately there. In the case of the Abbott test, or done in a sample testing center. But the antibody testing is a blood test where they take a blood sample and then test it for the specific coronavirus antibody, and that will be able to test people that maybe have got the mild indications, and had coronavirus, but then recovered, but didn't show any bad symptoms, So there's a test going on, believe it or not, in Telluride, Colorado. Caitlin, if you talk to your boyfriend, I'm sure he knows Telluride. I don't know if any of you have ever been to Telluride, but Telluride is a beautiful place, 8,000 residents, and they're doing a controlled study there of 8,000 people where they're giving them all that blood test and trying to perfect the test and then make it and then bring it out from there. So it's about a 2 or 3 week program that they're in the middle of right now. So that should be huge too, because this 8,000 people is a statistical relevant sample, so that they can take that information to other towns and be able to come up with some more strategies on how to combat it. You know.
Yeah, I'm grateful that companies are coming out with this stuff now. Like in my own family, I have a lot of people like in the medical field that have been on the front lines, as I'm sure many people know, and two of them were unfortunately affected and have tested positive. But it's interesting because, one of them wasn't even really showing much symptoms past a fever for a few days.
Oh, interesting.
But it has a spot on their lung that shows like pneumonia. So it's just interesting. Like, I think they were saying like 1 in 4 cases of people don't even know that they're carrying it. Right. So it goes back to, might not be a bad idea to have this antibody testing, because maybe there'll be a second wave, right, when it gets cold again, like at the end of the year type of thing. I know a lot of people are talking about that. So preparing ourselves and equipping ourselves in any way. So it is. I'm glad, and I'm hoping that this Abbott, what they came out with is successful, and it looks like it's promising.
No, I think it is, and I think over the next couple of days there'll probably be some more data coming from that as to how it works and such like that, and then the last piece of it is kind of the holy grail is a vaccine, and there are 2 vaccine candidates, one led by J&J and another led by Moderna. Moderna is closer because, from what some friends of mine in the marketplace said, that they've converted an existing vaccine to this use case. So it was already farther along in the FDA approval process. So they're supposedly going to start a small group phase 1 study fairly soon on that. So that's promising. And then the second one from J&J, they're probably going to start that phase 1 in another month or 2, because that was just like a grassroots, just started type of thing. So it'll be interesting to Ming just posted up some links posted up some links as to some of the news about in Science magazine about these results and such. So that's a that the vaccine is the kind of the ultimate thing to be able to prevent this from happening long term, at least for that specific, because the vaccine is still going to be specific. So if there's another coronavirus, another form of it that comes out, and I'm sure that our lives over the coming years will be much more ready for a pandemic than we have been before. So just like when things like this have happened in the past, the different changes to our life are going to happen from this without a doubt. So
yeah, I think it'll be interesting to figure out, like, we've never really thought of a business continuity plan, right? Post a disaster. I think maybe the closest thing we've seen in recent history is maybe Sandy, at least like in this area, right? But aside from that, I think every business is going to definitely take a look at how are we going to, or everyone in general is going to shift to thinking of how do we prepare for this. It should be very, it's very interesting what a wake up call it is on many levels, Yeah,
no, I agree. I 100% agree. It is going to change, the different industries and how to handle it, how to prepare for it, and how to invest, like save for it. Yeah. So it's definitely going to be a changing place, but and then also how to start back up again. So just to kind of end on a high note here, is we like I've talking with Caitlin and the team about how do we get everybody back together. Maybe we'll have first have a team meeting of some sort where we come in and and meet and make sure everybody's on the same page, review the outstanding appointments. I'm going to print out all kinds of reports so that we know any outstanding packages that people have, and then the cleaning aspect of it too. I've been talking with several cleaning companies to make sure that we're fully cleaned, all surfaces and everything. Although I do everything that I've read, if something sits untouched for 5 days, there's nothing on it anymore.
Right.
So so if there hasn't been a person in the store for 4 or 5 days now. So I don't think that's an issue. So
You can have a re-grand opening here.
Yes, exactly.
Just like your anniversary, 1-year anniversary, like part 2 celebration.
That's right.
Just like come out with it again. Like, hey, we just want to have another party. Like, it's all about it.
That's right. That's what and we're looking forward to it. So, well, good. Well, I think Caitlin, do you have any other questions for anybody or for?
I don't know. I think got it all covered.
All
right. Thank you guys for having me. This is awesome, and it's very encouraging to hear that you guys are keeping yourselves busy and being optimistic, and like that's all we can do, right? And reaching out to other businesses and trying to connect. So I look forward to your future episodes. But thank you for having me. I'm very blessed and grateful to be on.
Well, thank you, Sasha. I mean, you've been a big help to me in a lot of ways with a lot of your ideas and input. So I'm proud proud and grateful that you are our first guest, right? And Caitlin, Caitlin, thank you for being our co-host today. Appreciate it.
Come out with the merch.
Yeah, I know. I have to. This could be the time here. Maybe that's. I have a long list of things to do. So
there you go. Add it to
this kind of popped up ahead of a couple of things, and now that I realize how efficient it is, Ming, I'm sure you'll see me again here in another very soon. So we appreciate it, and thank you all very much. And we'll sign off. So
all right, thanks you guys.
Thanks, Sasha.
Take
Thank
care
you, Caitlin. Bye bye.